Thanks. First of all, thanks to everyone for joining, and thanks the Pune Tech community to start a great initiative as for us first time speaker, and thanks for giving me opportunity. So yeah, today's session is on how we can use SPFX with Angular elements using PNP domain generator. So before start with session, let me introduce myself. I am Chandni Prajapati. I am currently working as a SharePoint consultant. I am a C# Corner MVP and I am writing blogs on Microsoft 365 PNP community and C# Corner, and on my personal side I am a open source contributor of PNP, and yes, I am maintainer of this PNP SPFX generator, and these all are my social media handlers, so you can reach out me from this. So today's agenda will be basic of SPFX, then some basic concept of Angular, and how to install installation of an Angular, then what is a PNP SPFX domain generator and how we can install it, and how to create a new web part using PNP SPFX, and what is an Angular elements and demo. So yeah, first of all, what is SPFX? So SPFX stands for a SharePoint framework, and it is used for web part and page model, and it is used for the client side development, and we can easily integrate it with a SharePoint data, and it supports for open source tools like npm, yo, and gulp, and so on. And we can use any framework in SPFX in which we are comfortable, like we can use React, Vue.js, Angular, and so on. So today we will go with Angular. So yeah, first of all, what is an Angular? So Angular is a one of the popular framework for a building high performance single page application, and which is created and managed by Google. And Angular is written in TypeScript, and the latest version of Angular is 12. Some out of the box features of Angular is like form management. In Angular we can easily manage the form, like if we want to do some validation and anything else, then we can easily do this with Angular. While in React, if we want to do form customization and validation, then we have to use external library, or we have to use some custom logic, but Angular is provide these built-in features. Then another one is routing. So in Angular we can easily manage the path without loading and component. So we can easily achieve this in Angular. And then client server communication means API communication, then two-way data binding, then lazy loading, then dependency injection, and separate files for component and template. So we will go through this in demo, how we can use these all the things. Yeah. So first of all, how we can set up an Angular and how to create a Angular standalone app. So first of all, to create before to create an app, we need to install Angular CLI. So we can use to install Angular CLI, we have to execute a command npm install, then -c for global, and @angular/CLI. So after successfully installation of this, we can create an Angular app. So if we want to create a standalone Angular app, then we can execute command ng new, then app name. And after the creation app, how we can run an application? So we can execute command ng-serve or ng-serve dash open. If we will write open, then we don't have to open a local host server. So we can use this open. Then some key concept of Angular which we will see. So what is a component, module, then template, then data binding, then component communication. So this is the key concept of Angular we will see in a demo. Yeah. Then now what is a PNP SPFX human generator? So this generator supports a variety of frameworks and features. So this is the same as out of the box human generator from Microsoft, but there are some advanced features, like it provides a variety of framework like Vue.js, Angular Element, Handlebars, and so on. And it also provides some testing tools. And while we are using this PNP SPFX generator, it provides an option to select some libraries. Like we want to use a PNP jQuery, then we can directly install it while we are creating a project. Then current PNP SPFX version is 1.16.1, and currently it is compatible with Angular 11, not with 12, and compatible with SPFX version 1.11.0. Yeah. So now how we can set up and create a new web part. So as I already mentioned, how we can install Angular CLI. So if we need Angular CLI, then we have to install PNP SPFX generator. So we use this command npm install then -g @pnp/generator -spfx. So why after installing this we can create a new web part. So first of all we have to move to the directory where we want to create this SPFX web part. So after that we will execute this command. So it will ask some questions. So let's see. Okay, so I am executing command yo @pnp SPFX. So it will ask a question like which baseline package do you want to target for your component. So here there are three options: SharePoint Online only, then 2019 and SharePoint Online, then 2016 and 29 and online. So I am selecting online. Then it will ask for the some frameworks. So if we haven't installed Angular elements, then Angular elements will be disabled. So here I am adding Angular elements. Then it will ask for the some libraries, which type of library we want to include. Then it will also ask for the TypeScript version. Then there are some tools, additional tools. Then it will ask for some Azure pipeline configuration. Then it will ask for the solution name. And yes, there is one limitation of our generator is in solution name we can't use underscore or dash. For example, if I am writing PNP dash demo, then it will not allow to me. So we can't use this. Then it will ask for some Angular CLI option. So style will be in SCSS format, then routing is false, and it will skip the git. Yeah. After that, some all question are as our SPFX, like for permission and what is the solution project web part name, then what is a web description and so on. After this, it will automatically create the web part. So this is some basic question it will ask. So it may take 5 to 7 minutes because it will install the two dependencies. One is for Angular and another one is for SPFX. So after successful installation, it will create a two folders. So one will be Angular and second will be with SPFX suffix. Okay. Now what is an Angular element? So Angular element is nothing but it packaging an Angular component in such a way that it can be used as a custom element in any non-Angular application. So for example, if I want to use Angular component in SPFX, means outside Angular, so we have to use this Angular elements concept. So it is nothing but it is one type of HTML element. So here we can see ng custom element. We know this is not an HTML element, but this is our Angular element. So let me show you. I already have created one project. So this is for SPFX and this is for an Angular. So in SPFX, yes. Yes, here we can see app Angular element web part. So this is Angular element which is coming from Angular. So basically what this will do, while we do any changes in Angular component, then we have to create a bundle file. So after creation of bundle file, it create three files, these three files in a dist folder, and we will use these three files in our SPFX. So we can use it as an Angular element, this component as an Angular element. So this is a basic of Angular elements. Yeah, then Angular app structure. So we will see some important files of Angular. So first one is angular.json. So in this file, all the configuration related to an Angular and some basic things. For example, like I want to use bootstrap in Angular, right? So I will execute command npm I bootstrap. so it will install the bootstrap. But like I want to use this bootstrap as an initial bundle, then I have to add in angular.json in this style. In architect object, I have to add this CSS at here. For example, I am using any script and I need it as an initial bundle, then I have to add in this object, in this array. So this is angular.json. Then assets. So assets, it includes images, some icons, some external CSS, and so on. So for example, I want to use any image and any icon, then I have to add in this asset folder. So I already have added some images. Then main.ts file. So this file is load an app module, and from the app module our app component will be loaded. So this is a main.ts file. So from this file our app component will be loaded, main root component. Then index.html, this includes the selector of root component where it renders the root component. So in index.html we will add our root component. So from this file our main component will be rendered. Then style.scss, so we can use it for a global style, like for example I have a 4 to 5 component in one page and I want to add same css for all the components, then I have to add style in this file. Otherwise all component have is its separate css component based css. So this is a style.scss. Then polyfill.ts. So for sometimes older version browser like i9, i10, i11 need some extra support file, then we can add that files in polyfill.ts. Then main part is app component. So when we create any component, it contains 4 files. One is HTML file, second one is SCSS, then TypeScript file, and fourth one is spec.ts file. So in HTML file, we can render our data. And in TS file, we can add some business logic, like we can create any method, can create any object, we can create any variable, anything. Then in SCSS, we can add some CSS related to component only. And in spec.ts file, we can write any test cases. And another file is app.module.ts file. So app.module.ts, it's a root module and it declares the component and imports a module. So what is a module? So Angular application are modular, and Angular has its own modularity system called ng module. Every Angular application has at least one class with a ng module decorated. To use any component into an application, you need to declare it into a related module. So like here we can see declaration, imports, and providers. So if we add any component, then we have to add in this declaration. So here we can see one Angular elements webpack component, another component I already have created. So we have to declare it here. Then imports. For example, we want to use some modules, then we have to import in this section. Then in providers, we can add some services. And yes, here Angular element is declared here. So in ng do bootstrap method, we can use one function, create a custom element. Using this function, we can create an Angular element for our component. So this method create an Angular element, in which we are using in our SPFX. Then component. The component is the basic building block of user interface. So component controls the path of the screen, which is called a view, and each component is mapped to the template. So for example, in one component I have created one variable and I want to use this variable in template. So both are mapped with each other. And yes, Angular application is a tree of Angular components. So for example, like we have one Flipkart site, and there some like one header component, then other will be sidebar component, then product list component, then product component. So like this is a tree of Angular component. Then Angular component contains the properties, methods, constructor, as well as some input event, some output event, and Angular has its lifecycle method like ng on it, ng on destroy. So let's see in a code. Okay, so this is a selector. So what this selector, like I have written app Angular elements web part at here. So if I want to render this, I have to use this. In our SPFX we already use this. So I have to use that selector in our SPFX web part. Then another one is template URL. So this is our HTML template URL, this component URL. But for example, if I have only 2 or 3 line code of HTML, then I directly write in template. Then there is a style URLs. It contains an array, so we can add multiple CSS URL. But like if we want to use some 2 or 3 lines style, then we can directly write in styles. Then encapsulation. So this is this encapsulate this styles for the component. Then there is a one like input. So we when we need this input, so for example, like I want to use some parent property in a child component, then we have to use this input. So this description is coming from our SPFX web part. So if we want to use in our component, then I have to declare it as a like at the rate input. Then some variable, we can declare some variable at here. Then in constructor we can initialize some variables, right? And we can also create some functions. And there is a one ng on it on init method of the Angular. Okay. Then template. So each component is mapped to one template, and a template is a form of HTML that tells Angular how to render the component on the screen. So this is a one type of HTML element, but it provides some extra like directives, some events, then interpolation and data binding and so on. So we will see in demo how we can do this. So yeah, so in demo we will see structural directives, then attribute directives, then how we can bind the data in Angular. So these all are things we will cover in demo. So first of all, data binding. So interpolation. So interpolation is used to display component property value on the screen. For example, I have created one variable in a component and I want to use in a template. So we can use interpolation. There it contains 2 curly braces. Okay. Then property binding. So property binding is used to update the DOM property as well as for the input event. For example, on button on click I want to do something, then we have to use this in a square bracket. So let's see demo how we can do this. Actually, I already have created one VS Code snippet, so I don't want to write the code. So this is a shortcut. So first of all, yeah. So to run an Angular application, we have to execute command ng serve -- open. So it will open one local host, and I have created interpolation, property binding, event binding, and two-way data binding demo. So in interpolation, what we are doing, I am just printing one description on the screen. Then yes, Angular also provides some built-in pipes like JSON, uppercase, date, and so on. So I have created one variable and I want to show in uppercase, so I can use that as a pipe. Okay, so let's see how I have added. So in our this file there is a input description which is coming from SPFX. So I have directly used this interpolation, 2 curly braces and description. Then I have created one variable username and I have declared it in a constructor. This dot username is equal to Chandni Prajapati. Now I want to do uppercase. So how we can use, I have used this username variable, then this is a pipe and uppercase. So it will display description and uppercase. And then another one is property binding. So in property binding, what we will do, I have one image tag and I want to show image from these assets. So I already have added some images in these assets and I just want to show image using property binding. So in Angular we can bind the property using this square bracket. Okay, so this default image URL is coming from here. So there is a one variable default image URL and I have set it from assets mario.png. So it will render the image. So it is a property binding. And in event binding, what we will do, I already have one array, skill array, and there is a one text box. So and one button. So what I want to do, when I click on this button, I want to add skill in a skill array. For example, I am writing power apps and I want to add in a skill array. So this is a event binding. So let's see how we can do this. So here this is a skill array which I declare it here, and I have some data Angular, SPFX and Power Automate. So for that I have created one input and then there is a one button. So on button click, so how we can bind the event using this parenthesis. Okay, then I am calling one function. So this function I already create in this um, file. So add skill function, then there is a one parameter, a string parameter, then we already have a skill array. So I want to push this skill. So this dot skill dot push, then this skill. So on click I am calling this function. Now from this skill is coming, right? So in input box I want to get the value of input. So in Angular we have to use hashtag and any name, right? So I have added hash then skill. Now I want to get a value of the input. So how we can get it? So if I directly write a skill, then this is a button, so it will return an event. So I want to use its value, so I will write skill dot value. And what I am doing, I am just printing it as a list format. So I have used ng for, we will go how we can in next how we can use this ng for. So this is the event binding. Whatever I will write in an add, then it will automatically add in our array. Then there is a two-way data binding. So what is a two-way data binding? Suppose if I do any changes in component, then it will reflect to the HTML, it will update in HTML, and also if I do any changes in HTML, then it will reflect to the this component. So for example, I have a 3 input box, first name, last name and email. So if I write for anything, then it will automatically update the JSON. So let's see how we can do this. So for that I have created one object, user object, with first name, last name and email, and I have initialized it as empty. Okay, now there is a 3 input box. One is for first name, second is for last name and third one is for email. So for that we have to use ng model. And yes, two-way data binding is a combination of event binding plus property binding. So we can say this is a square bracket and parenthesis. So we have to use ng model. And there is a we have created this object is here. Now I want to use first name value, right? So how I can get is get it like user dot first name, then in last name user dot last name, and for email user dot email. Okay, now I want to show this in a JSON format. So we are using HTML predefined tag, and there is a user object, and we want to show in a JSON format. So this is Angular's pipe JSON. So how it two-way data binding is working, right? So this is a two-way data binding. So these all are the data binding concept of the Angular. Okay. Now directives. So directives are classes that add additional behavior to elements in our Angular application. There are two types. One is structural and another one is attribute. So structural directives that change the DOM layout by adding and removing the DOM elements. And there are three types like ngIf, ngSwitch and ngFor. And in attribute, this directive is change the behavior of an element or component. So there are ngClass, ngStyle and ngModel. So let's see how we can use this. Okay, so attribute directives. So yeah, here what I have did in a ngStyle, we can directly add inline CSS. And in ngClass, if we want to like dynamic CSS, for example, I have created one array, employee name and its technology. If technology is SharePoint, then its background color is this, and if technology is React, then background color is this. So we can use this as a like dynamic CSS. So like ngStyle. So what I have did just only p tag and ngStyle directive, and I can directly use inline CSS. So we can use ngStyle in this square bracket, then directly pass background color is equal to yellow. For example, I am changing with red, then it will change. Okay, and then ngClass. So I have created one employee object with name and technology, and here two employees. One is for SharePoint, another is React. So how we can use ngClass? So ngClass is equal to, this is a first one is a class name, then second one will be expression. So I already have created SharePoint and React class in SCSS. We can see if SharePoint, then background color is light sea green, if React, then gray. So here I have added SharePoint class, then here for I have used for loop of employees. So if e.technology is equal to SharePoint, then use this SharePoint class. And if e.technology is equal to React, then use this React class. And I have just printed name and technology. So for example, I am adding one like user2 and React. So it will automatically set gray color. So this is a ngClass and ngStyle. Now let's see how we can use structural directive. Okay. So one is ngIf, ngFor and ngSwitch. So for ngIf, ngIf, I have created one variable as a true. So if it will be true, it will print data is valid. Otherwise, it will not print. Then ngFor, so there is a one array, and I just want to show that array in a list format. Then there is a switch case. I have three condition. If I add PNP, then it will shows me a PNP logo. If I add Pune Tech Community PTC, then it will shows this. Otherwise, it will shows Mario. So first is ngIf. So for that there is a one variable is valid is equal to true. I have set true, and I I am checking condition if ngIf is equal to is valid. So how we can write ngIf using star, then ngIf, then I am checking is valid. Currently this is a true, so it is printing data is valid. If I am setting this false, then it will not print anything. See, okay. Now ngFor. So we have this skill array, and there are three values, and we just want to use in a list format. So how we can use ng4? So star ng4 is equal to, let we have a skill array, so s of skills, and I am writing directly as it here, so it will print this data. Okay, now how we can use ng switch? So I have created one variable called community, and it is a string. So this dot community is equal to Pune Tech community. Okay, and what I am doing, I have used this ng model is equal to community. So this is getting data from community. Then I am applying switch case on community. So ng switch then is equal to community. Then there are a switch case, ng switch case is equal to ptc, then it will shows the Pune Tech image. So image source is equal to Pune Tech image URL. I already have declared all the image in constructor for PNP, for Pune Tech and default. Then it will check for the PNP. If there will be PNP, then it will shows image PNP image URL, and in default it will shows the default image URL. Okay, so currently there is a Pune Tech community, so it shows this image. So this is a directives. Yeah. Then let me show one thing how we can communicate the component. So for example, I want to create one child component. So how we can create a child component? So there is a command to generate a component. So we don't have to create all four files of component manually. We just have to execute one command, ng g for generate, then c for component and component name. For example, I am using demo. So it will create a for file with demo component. It also contains four files, HTML, CSS, then spec and TS. So it will create a component at here. So this is a child component. Now we will see how we can use this child component in a parent component. So we can see there is a demo component, and there it already contains four files, and will and this in app module this component will be automatically added here. Okay, now let's see how we can use this demo component, right? So in demo component there is p tag with demo works. So here we can see app demo. Now let's see from where app demo is coming. So in TS file we can see selector. So we have to write this app demo as a element tag in our parent components. So when I will run, it will shows me demo works. We can see. So we can add child component in parent component like this. And now let's see form validation. Yeah. So I have a 3 input, first name, last name and email. So in form customization, what I want to do, I am doing these 3 are required, and in first name minimum 5 characters, requires minimum 5 characters. So let's see how we can do this in Angular. So yes, so this is an input box for the first name. Okay, then we already seen how to like two-way data binding working. So ng model, then user dot first name, then I already use required required for of the HTML, then minimum length is equal to 5, and there is for the reference we have to use hash then name, and we have to declare is equal to ng model to like to check the validation. So this is a input box. Now what we will do, check we will check in first name. So it will contains the errors object. So we will check first name dot error contains a required, because we have a required validation. So it will contain required validation, then we will show name is required. Then we will check first name dot errors and contains minimum length, then we will show requires minimum 5 characters. So required validation is same for last name, we will check for last name from this reference last name dot errors dot contains required, then last name is required. Then same for the email. So if email dot errors dot required, then it will show email is required. So in Angular we can easily do validation using one or two lines. Okay, so this is a Angular form validation. Now let's see how we can use this Angular element in SPFX. Okay, so we will move to the SPFX folder and we will do gulp serve. So first of all, I am executing gulp serve, but Angular changes will not reflect in our SPFX web part, because whenever we do any changes in Angular element, we have to run execute command npm run bundle, because using this bundle it will create three files: main.js, then polyfill.js, and this style.css. And we are using these three files in our SPFX web part at here. So if I do any changes in Angular, then I have to run npm run bundle command. So so it will create a package. Called it will shows only Angular plus SPFX, it will not shows these forms. No, it actually I think I haven't. Okay, let me show again. It shows form customization, but let me change in this file. Like in Angular, I am removing this. Actually, I already have created bundle. That's why. See, I have changed in component, right? So currently in Angular it will show only demo works. Okay. See, there is only demo works, but in SPFX, all changes are also here. So whenever we do any changes in app component, we have to run npm run bundle. Then changes will be reflected to the our SPFX web part. And yes, we can also debug Angular elements in SPFX. So let's see how we can debug it. So for example, I am searching any Angular file. Yeah. So for that we have use source map, because in SPFX we can't see Angular elements web files, because we already have bundle it, and it is creating only 2 files. So we have used source map, so we can debug Angular files in SPFX. So here we can debug anything related to Angular files. So we can debug also Angular element in SPFX. Yeah. So yes, that's all from my side, and here there are some references, so you can you use these links to for SPFX with Angular elements. I already have written 2 or 3 blogs for this, and there are some Angular related links, and here also PNP generator SPFX GitHub link. So if you can use this generator, and if any doubt, then you can connect me.